Your price is too high. How many times have you heard that? Or how many times have you thought to yourself, that's what someone's gonna say if you even dare to think about increasing your prices? I think this is one of the most common, if not the most common reply from a client that's not quite ready yet to invest in your Circus act. I'm really excited about this video because when I was in situations like this and I was like, why do people don't want to pay my prices? I just wanted to know what to say. Which is also why in this video I'm going to share with you my exact word-for-word templates for those that need just a little bit more help to see the value in your act, get that help, and it's easy for them to say yes to you. This is the work that I do. I've spoken to hundreds of circus performers over the last decade, and I really wanted to create a deep dive training on this because there are really only 3 methods that you can use in these situations. While these templates are absolute game changers, how would you feel about if these occurrences of your price is too high would virtually disappear from your career? If that's something you want to do, then you are in for a treat. 3 methods and 3 methods only. And I'm going to go into method 1, but before, I need you to know that you really got to understand method 2 and 3 for you to get the full picture. So keep watching. Method 1 has to do with a little bit of shift of focus. And the shift of focus that you want to have is to focus on results, not just the performance itself. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't just sell the act. You also want to sell the results the clients get by choosing to work with you.
You need results. No.
You really want to highlight and articulate the value that you bring to the show and to the venue and to the experience of working with you. And this is a very challenging thing. So you want to really think of results. What are tangible results your client will be able to see? Because when they see this, it adds value to what you offer. So let's say I am an immersive juggler and I send my offer and the client says, your prices is too high. Here's what I would reply with this first method. Sure, my juggling routine is impressive, like many other jugglers are, but imagine what the immersive part of my show will have as an impact on your event. Like in any other event, it will leave your guests in awe because they thought they're just gonna see another juggler. I've been really fortunate that the way that I work and how I bring my unique approach to being an immersive juggler has created a lot of buzz on social media because people just want to share what I do. And this in return has helped my clients to really solidify their brand identity as a really contemporary and forward-thinking company. And I have a feeling that's something that's also very important to you. See how this works? When you sell them all the little pieces of results, the perceived value of what you do goes. And then in return, they're able to reconsider if what you offer is actually appropriate. And most of the time they will go, actually, yes, it is. This method you can kind of remember as an added value method. They come with the price, they don't see the value. So you need to show them as a reply what the value is and how they would feel about having that. Let's get into method 2. But before we do, I wanted to let you know that if you want to skip the queue and you kind of want to fast track your progress and knowing how to do all of this, so you can actually get consistent quality bookings and circus work, there's a link below this video to speak to me directly. Okay, method 2. You want to educate and set clear expectations. Here's the thing, just because they send you an inquiry doesn't mean that they know everything about you. So sometimes it just needs a little more education to the client. This is a thing that a lot of performers miss and they lose out on jobs because they think, oh my God, my clients are so stupid. How can they even think this? That's when this really comes into place, when you feel like they just don't know everything that I actually bring and the expectations they can have with the offer that I provide. Sometimes the best way is to really educate the client how your act aligns with their event or with their show goals. And you set clear expectations, what they can expect from your performance. Again, if I would be an immersive juggler, I would say something along the lines of this after having received your price is too high. By choosing to work with me as an interactive juggler, you really can expect that I can guarantee that I encourage audience interaction, audience participation. Clients that book me, they really want to foster a sense of community and laughter in the audience. You know, the type of act that I do is really perfect for breaking the ice or splitting up a show or on a networking event. It's almost like an icebreaker. And on top of that, nothing against generic jugglers. I think they're phenomenal. But I have great pride in being not a generic juggler. And my prices reflect that extra value. And I believe that besides impressing people, which you will for sure be able to do with hiring me, I also think it's important to create lasting memories and really have an impactful experience for your audience. This is similar to the first method because it's kind of a method to shine a light on your very unique selling proposition, like the one thing that makes you different from the rest, which is the reason why you are charging premium prices.
You deserve more.
And this way, your client has the opportunity to fully and logically understand why your price is the way that it is. This method sells with logic because you show them straightforward how you are different from the competition by highlighting your unique selling point. It's really the most direct and unemotional way of having a negotiation. I personally prefer this method. I think also it's the most powerful one because it doesn't leave a lot of gaps for opinions and fluff and things where you're like, well, we don't agree on this. It's just solid facts and solid results. And here's the thing why a lot of performers struggle with this particular method, because in order to do that, you need to have first a very clear understanding why you are different from the rest. Because unless you can, one, understand it and then articulate it in a language that the clients understands, they will not know. This work has to start internally and you need to get the clarity around that and then deliver it to the client. I'm really curious, what's the one thing that when you get to the negotiation part and people say things, your price is too high, or they're like, I'm not sure if I can pay that. What is the thing that you struggle most with explaining or articulating? Let me know in the comments. I would love to help. After this last method, it's very exciting. I'm about to dive into the root cause of why this all is actually happening and how you can fix this for good. So stick around and keep watching. As you have maybe noticed, the first two options are clients who are able and willing to negotiate your fee. So they have actually the ability to pay you more by seeing the logic or the value that you provide them with after the negotiation. But sometimes there are clients that just cannot pay you more. They have a hard budget and that has nothing to do with wanting, but still there is this last method that you can use to still get to an agreement with the client. So you can still work together, because most of the time I feel that's the goal. It's like, how can we communicate? How can we come to a mutual agreement so we both feel happy about this going forward and working together? And above that, I think this method is a heartwarming and a very service-oriented method, because a lot of times clients don't feel amazing about not being able to pay you your proper fee. Believe me, it feels awful, but they're like, I love so much what you do and I would love to find a way for us to work together. So when performers don't immediately say, you don't want to pay my fee, but they really go towards the client and go, I see how you are restricted with the budget. Let's find a solution to maybe make this work. Your clients will be eternally grateful for that. And you never know. In our industry, everything is about relationships. So if you sometimes go into a negotiation, even if the price is low and you find a way to work together, they will help you down the line, because helping someone and being considerate and being open, even if it doesn't turn out to work out together at the end, just going into the conversation in a eye-to-eye level can be the most strategic thing and the most humane thing you can do for a client. Because one thing that I think is the crux of this, that performers think negotiation is against each other, but the core of negotiation, the essence of negotiation is to find what is the middle. How are we both happy doing that?
We got a deal.
We got a deal. Thank you.
Let's say a client inquires you for 2 acts for an event. And you give your fee and the client says, I'm so sorry, I can't pay that, which is just another way of saying your price is too high. You kind of want to do a mix of the first. So you can go, okay, my standard fee for just 1 act is X, Y, and Z. You tell them, but I would be super happy to look into how I may be able to customize that 1 act so it can fit your budget constraints. You're not saying, how dare you to not pay me my fee? You acknowledge that this client has budget constraints and that you're willing to see how you can alter your offer to go towards the client. Alternative things here you could do, let's say the client asks for 2 acts and you're like, actually that's the fee that you have available is for 1 act, but you can say, okay, I can do 1 act, but how about I mingle a little bit with the audience after? They get this like VIP feeling, and you still don't have to do your full act, but you could just show up twice in the show. So the client gets kind of what they asked for, but it is without you having to do your full circus act. And then you want to add that little bit of value to it. You can go, you know what, from experience, this is even a more valuable choice, because sometimes the audience gets so much value from seeing me in person and being able to talk to me than actually just seeing me twice in the air. And I really would love that experience for your audience too. The way that you sold this idea to the client means, hey, I'm actually giving you a better option than what you asked me for the price. And again, here, I want to make this very crystal clear. I'm not here to tell you that you should work for no money or that you should do what the client says if he doesn't want to pay you, but that there are options to nurture a relationship and to make an event happen and to make it happen when both parties go a little bit towards each other. What that will require from you is to explore in a really creative way the offer that you have. What can you do? What do you feel comfortable with adding on or taking away or changing without obviously having to invest money and change a costume? Like, what is easy for you? What is something that you would be happy to offer or to change? And if you do that, it's this really magic thing happens. You turn a single inquiry into a very high value proposition, because whenever you tailor something and you serve the client feels like you're adding value. So now this whole experience for the client is that they get more than what they pay for. And that is the best position to be in, because then they will come back over and over and over again. That's the feeling you want to evoke in every single client. You want them to think like, oh my God, the price that they're asking is a bargain because all this value that I get and all these experiences that I get to give my audience. Do you want to know what the real root cause is? Why the client actually says this in the first place? It is not because they don't have money. Clients have money, or if they don't, they have a way of finding more of it. The actual reason why they say this, it's because they don't see the value in what you offer. As you have already noticed, value can be added. But since we talk about eliminating this occurrence in the first place, is you want to create so much value before the client even talks to you. Meaning everything about you, everything that is out there needs to scream value. So when you drop your price in the future, the client's going to go, of course, that makes sense. Of everything that I see, yes, it absolutely makes sense. And how do you do this? Through marketing.
It's marketing?
When you market and sell your circus act properly, the decision if the client can afford your act or not is done before they reach out to you. Let me explain. Let's say you wanted to buy tickets to Adele. You would already know, you would think about if you can afford this before you even check out the prices, right? Because they will be expensive, you know that. But if you would go to, let's say, a band that is local, you would go, yeah, let's just go. We will see at the door how much we have to pay. That's kind of the same thing that you do with marketing. They will know. If a client says your price is too high, it's simply just a symptom that your marketing isn't communicating your value properly enough. And at the moment, they don't see the value that you actually have. And you know that I believe that taking action, implementing change as quickly as you can is the best way for you to actually move ahead and get results in your career. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can do right now to help the client make the decision before they actually reach out to you. And yes, that's a good thing. You want them to make the decision before they reach out to you, because then the negotiation is going to be a whole different level. It's just going to be of how and when and what. That's the conversations I want you to have. I don't want you to have these conversations anymore of your price is too high and you go home and you're like, well, I hate this. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so here are the 3 things that you can do. You want your marketing to communicate 3 things on a regular basis. And the first one is what your niche is and what makes you a specialist in a very specific field. And you start that by identifying for yourself really clearly who are the group of people that you are here to serve with your offer. And second thing, specialists are by nature perceived to be more valuable. So that's a win-win. I'm sure you have been there, but we are willing to pay a lot more money for an artisan, hand-kneaded, local Italian pizza than we are to pay for a pizza that comes from a restaurant that also sells kebab and Chinese and Indian, because we're like, this cannot be good because it's too many of the things. You go there when you're drunk, or you go there when there's literally €5 back left in your account at the end of the month. But when you want to have the real deal, you will go to the Italian restaurant and have the bougie bitch pizza, right? Yes, you do. And the last thing about this point is casting happens these days very much on the digital platform, meaning it happens online. So yes, there's a lot of auditions, and the best way to get the client to actually want to book you is that they see you live. But we have the opportunity and access to the internet, and clients do check you out, and clients do the pre-vetting process by understanding who you are through checking you out online. So it's really important that your message about what makes you different and how specialist you are, that you convey that in your social media feed, in your Facebook, in LinkedIn, website, wherever you are present. And you can skip that. But here's the thing, not using free marketing tools such as social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of these platforms is really like you would take a bowl of soup and you would take a fork and you would start eating. Yes, it would work, no problem, but it would take a freaking long time. So this is the fast track to actually getting your uniqueness out there. Number 2, what you can do to help the client say yes to you before they actually send you an inquiry is, yes, you want to promote yourself on all the platforms, but you want to have, in addition to that, you want to have a really clear online presence. I don't want you to post your food pictures, your dog pictures, your training pictures, all of the things. It needs to be really clear for the client, wherever they go, what they can book you for. They need to be able to see, this is the act that I can book, this is the vibe that I'm getting, this is the website, this is how I can get in touch with them. Clarity is really key. Some performers have all of that somewhere down their feed, but you forget to repost, and remember that maybe someone that's seeing you today for the first time has to keep scrolling, have to search on Facebook. No one is going to do this. So you always want to make sure that your online presence is extremely clear and directly targeted to the person that will book you, not to your friends, not to your family, not to your colleagues, not to your community. They will see it anyway, but it has to be, most importantly, highly targeted towards your clients with the right pictures that they can imagine using for their show, with the right videos that speak to them, that go like, oh, this is specifically what I want. Every element that is out there for you needs to scream clarity about what makes you different and who you are. And lastly, it's kind of what we've done on the first one, which is pre-selling the results. We're just going to do it earlier. So in all your conversations, in your copy, in your text on your website, you want to pre-sell the result, or even your act descriptions. Anything where you have the ability to use words, you want to pre-sell the result by really explaining what this does to the audience, how it is to work with you, how you are a great team player. You really want to add these little pieces of value and pre-sell the result of having you in the team in all the places through your marketing. And if you only take one thing away from this video, it's this. It all comes down to you having the clarity on all these elements, so you can clearly communicate the value of what you do to your client. Why is this good? That means the ball is in your court. The more you learn how to do this, the higher and the better and the more opportunities you will get. I've been doing this for so many years now. I've taught uncountable circus performers how this works, and they're implementing it, and they're getting booked for dream contract after dream contract after dream contract. If this is something that you want help with, there's a link below this video. We can speak directly and I can help you check out the next step and see if it's a good fit for us to work together. And of course, if you like this video, please consider subscribing. I love to have you here. Hit the like button, the notification bell, and you maybe even want to check out this phenomenal video. So many performers really, really love that one. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios!